You and Joby got a Caribbean spirit today, don't you, Spikes?
Got a Caribbean what?
I said you and Joby got a Caribbean spirit, don't you? A Caribbean bug.
That's the African drum. I think you can also call it just call it the Caribbean.
The African drums, Spikes. All the drums are African. All drums are from Africa. But that sounds like Caribbean music right there. All of it's African. I'm not saying it's not African.
Yeah, it's really.
Yeah, it sounded
it's
nice.
really,
It had like a Caribbean feeling to it. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's really jamming. It's titled Ouagadougou. Ouagadougou, I think it's a capital for. Is it Burkina Faso? I think that yes, that is Ouagadougou in Burkina Faso.
It was that was jamming. Yeah, that was jamming. I must admit, that was nice.
Yeah, anyone who knows how to dance like Zombie or like kids would try to do that particular.
I ain't never seen them dance. I ain't never seen them dance like me.
They were on the weekend.
I never seen them dance. Not seen Cammy dance. I know Cammy can dance. I never seen Joby and Kate do nothing.
On the weekend they were jamming. On the weekend, you remember we attended that concert.
You didn't film it. You didn't film it. So just like you said on the show, just like you said on the show on the weekend when you was on the talking about people say they can do this, they can do that, but they don't never do nothing. They say they can cook. You never see them cooking.
They always saying how they sing, how they cook, how they dance. I have never seen them. It's all good. If someone believes they can do something, maybe they should also try and also show us. You know, we wouldn't mind if we had a video of the likes of Kita and Zombie cooking there.
We still wait for Joby's vocals. We waited for 2 years for Cammy's vocals and never got them. We never. Cammy told us she can sing. We never got none of that.
Yeah, people are always saying what they can do instead of showing it.
Yeah. Cammy protests how good she can sing. I can sing. We ain't never heard nothing, Cammy. We told you we'll spend a whole day just dedicating you to sing. You ain't never do it. That means you can't sing, Cammy. Congratulations to the baby, but we know you can't sing.
She was saying that she didn't get the opportunity, but you have everything here for anyone to record music. Nonetheless, I just want to welcome everyone to
the opportunities. Like all you had to do, you got the mic, just start singing that. Every artist you get there, they got the opportunity. They always sing, and they sound good. Shit. Yeah, I haven't heard a bad singer yet that you brought in, Spike. Every songstress you brought in can sing, can really sing.
The African talent here is too much, and we hope very, very soon we shall also bring in more guests to also entertain and also tell us a little bit about.
So tell Joby we're still waiting on her.
She is right here, and she will be seeing maybe on the Express show sometimes, and we hope we shall get to rate it out of 10. See how good she can. If she is a 2 or if she is a 2.5.
You know what we should do, Spikes? We should hold a talent contest. We should. Contest, Spikes. And the winner win like $50-$60. We show like a singing contest, because that'll build an artist. We do like a contest once a month, or once every other month, or something like that.
Yeah, would be a monthly talent search would be very, very nice. People can come on board, and also it would be nice. I think that's a brilliant idea. We will follow up on that, because it's
we'll figure it out, because I think we should. Yeah, we'll figure that out. We want to. That means we showcase new Kenyan talent, and it'll be fun. It'll be you, Jovi, and Kay to be the damn the judges. Y'all be arguing like that. I don't think she's no good. You shut up. Kate, she sounds great.
That would also be a way to uplift talent here. It would also be a way to uplift the local talent, because we have lots of.
I think it'd be nice. I think that'd be a good thing.
Yeah, lots of singers, lots of rappers, we have lots of talent. We can have it as the Flames or the Black Hot Fire Flame talent show or something. We'll
really kind of Black Hot Flame. Are you telling me it wasn't got to be flaming hot? That's hell. That's hell, damn it. Why can't it be the Jesus Sings talent show? Why it got to be with flame and black and hot and fire?
No one will turn up once it has a name, fire and flame. No one wants to turn up to a hell talent show. No one really will be pulling up to that one. It will be problematic just because. But black people need to wake up, and everything black has sort of been associated.
Has been demonized. Exactly.
It has been demonized. Yeah, it has been. Yeah. Everything black has been demonized. That is why you will find people not really also, wanting anything to do with fire or black or those two things, and all hell. People are really fearful of things that do not even exist. But nonetheless, family, Keith, can you still hear me? I think I lost you, but I want to welcome everyone to the broadcast. If you can hear me, just keen on. I hope that everyone is doing well, and this is a 54 correspondence.
That's what Malcolm X told you. That's what.
Go on. I think I lost your audio for a second.
Oh, I was saying you don't see nothing white in nature that's natural, except maybe a polar bear. Show me a bunch of white animals. You won't.
There was one albino giraffe in Kenya. That's a white one.
There you go. Exactly. That's an unnatural giraffe. Exactly. It's white. It's unnatural. Being white is unnatural to the planet.
So what has been happening now for people, if you go up and mention anything to do with the hot fire or anything to do with black, they know they are in big trouble for something that not even.
Well, we gotta change their mindset. I like Black Hot Fire Flame contest. I like that.
Yeah.
So, flame, because we're burning. You guys got burning hot talent.
Yeah.
You're burning hot.
That would work really, really well. But I was saying that there was this particular giraffe that was found in Kenya, and it's the only one that I ever had being white. Apart from the the bear that you're talking about, this was a white giraffe. I think I shared about his story sometimes back in when was that? I shared sometimes back in. It's very, very rare. You will not find another white giraffe anywhere. But this one was really white, and it's
rare.
It's the only. Yeah, they call it the only female white giraffe. It's the only female white giraffe, and I think the poachers got it. I think the poachers killed it. I think some people even go to it and kill it. People love to destroy. People love to destroy everything. I think
the other African giraffes were saying, "We want this white giraffe." Other giraffe were other giraffe were being racist against the other regular giraffe. This white one's better.
Yeah, the white one is better. It's pure. It's pure. It's better.
It's pure. It's pure.
people associate white impurity. But nonetheless, family, I want to get into what is happening across the continent of Africa. And I want to talk about South Africa. Every other time we talk about South Africa, we talk about mismanagement of different sectors, and one of them has been a sector for air transport. In the country, we did have sometimes back the national carrier, which is known as the South African Airlines, really suffering because of the mismanagement and the corruption in the country, and it had actually crumbled. But right now, there has been singing and dancing as South Africa's national airline returns to the sky. I always keep on saying it's a very, very expensive for air transport. Very, very expensive for someone. Yes, for someone to manage their transport in Africa. You will go and find that moving even from Johannesburg, coming into Nairobi, or moving from maybe perhaps Nairobi, going into another African city, it's a very, very expensive. Even as places close as Kampala and Nairobi, you will be charged very, very expensively for that. Because it's on purpose. So that people are not able to travel, cross the barriers exactly. On the continent.
You're not allowed to travel, know each other. Like I said, you get a flight that's 3,000 miles away, like when Big Cheese went from when he flew from Chicago to Los Angeles. It was like see that woman. I wasn't gonna bring that up. Remember, because he said he struck out. He said he struck out, didn't work out. So to go see that woman, it cost him like $70, right? To go 2,000 miles. In Africa, it costs you damn it $1,000 US to go 2,000 miles. In America, it costs you $70, $80. So where is the disconnect? Where is the disconnect?
Well, I think it's poverty. Not many people can afford it because of the poverty. And even if the airline wants to fly, it would fly empty. Even if it was to have, maybe it's very, very hard.
They say because of the poverty. Also, the insurance in Africa. Flying Africa is more expensive because supposedly Africa's got terrorists that was created by white people. So the airline company's got to charge more on the flights because of supposed terrorism and the threat to the flight getting blown up or shot down or some shit.
Many African nations do not even have national carriers. Like Uganda, it's the Uganda airline has failed. Ugandan airline has failed. The Kenyan airline has also failed.
Who can afford to fly and pay $1,000 a flight when they only make $1,000 a year, right?
So it's not really even possible for people. It's very, very expensive for people to travel. But the South African airline has returned to the sky, and
in Gambia when you making $20 a month. How you gonna fly some damn weird?
In the Gambia, it's even, I think, particularly more difficult because people are living in poverty, and I don't think they even have a national carrier in the Gambia. I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
Let me just see if they have a national, the Gambia Airlines. Let me see.
I doubt it. They could support it.
They
could support it.
Let me see. I do not see any Gambia Airlines here. I do not see that Gambia have an airline.
I already knew the answer was no. They don't have. It wouldn't be. How could they support it? The country's impoverished. They can't support an airline.
Gambia.
Like Nigeria has a real. The funny part about Ethiopia has a real good airline, but that people don't know that Ethiopians were trained by us, but trained by the African American. That's what started Ethiopian Airlines. The African Americans trained and set up Ethiopian Airlines. Most people don't even know that. It was an African American. Go ahead, Spikes.
No, I'm saying that is the only airline that is driving on the continent. Gambia has one airport. I've seen it. It has one airport, but I'm not sure whether it has its own airline.
Yeah, but it doesn't have its own. It doesn't have its own. Those are other companies, European companies flying in and out of the Gambia, for their sex tourism and shit. But no, they got
Go
ahead, Spikes.
They're always there going for sex tourism and ruling out those young Gambian men. And also the Gambian women
and Gambian women.
that is sex tourism that they are doing in the Gambia. That is only airport that you have in that country.
But Nigeria has a really good airline too. Oddly enough, Nigeria has a really good one called it's not government owned by a Nigerian. It's called Free Air Freedom Air, Freedom Line, or something like that.
Yeah,
Freedom Jet.
Freedom Air.
Out of Abuja. Or is
Nigeria.
it out of Lagos? But it's a really
Freedom
good.
Air. I do see
Freedom
it in
Air.
Freedom Air. Freedom Air in Akaduni.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. So that's a really good airline. Like I said, the best one on the continent is the Ethiopian one. That's one that's driving. And like I said, that was set up by the Black Americans. People don't know that. The Black Americans, when you learn about loving each other and solidarity, it was the Black Americans that went over there and helped set up Ethiopian Air way back in like 1930, 1940 something.
Yes, I think that they have tried that. Really, the government is also keen on making sure that Ethiopia becomes the regional hub. That is why they have decided to make sure that they are also investing in their air.
That's true. You're right. Because you had to have a decent airline to make. Because you got the African Union there, so you had to have a top-notch airline to bring people from the continent all the way over to the African Union. You're right. You couldn't be no shit like Uganda or Gambia. You had to have a real airline.
For Uganda, it also crumbled. Uganda Airlines really does not exist anymore. I think they do not exist anymore. But
they can't afford it. How can you look? You got a puppet moron up in there. As Joker says, I'm not a moron. You got a puppet. You got a puppet moron in there named 70. He's a puppet and he's a moron. So he wasn't gonna be able to take it and build it into anything because the country hasn't progressed under this man in 40 years, right? Country just as impoverished as it's always been because they made sure they put an idiot in charge. What has Museveni done for the country? Nothing. I got to say what Kate says. Like what Kate said, this government's doing nothing for us. This government's doing nothing for us.
She is expecting the government to do anything, and you told her the government really does not care for its people, and that's a harsh reality. But
exactly, that's a harsh reality.
Yeah, that's a harsh reality. People expect the government to do this and that and trust the government, and the
government. They don't know no better. Like you said, we don't know better. We don't know that they haven't taught the history of buying the European government set up a seat for the European. You grew up in the system. You don't know that the system was, you weren't around when the British were controlling Kenya. You're not taught the history. You don't know that the government is created by the British to steal from Kenyan people. They put the puppets in to not do nothing for African people.
They're just there to make sure they're just the gatekeepers.
That's why everybody's trying to run off the continent. You can't because the people are lazy. No. Those governments, they know the government's not doing nothing for them. They see on TV, hey, everything's in Europe and America. Let me get there. They don't know that the governments, that they're going to the same place that's suppressing their governments. They don't know that. They just trying to get where they think things are going to be better. They don't know that the governments have been designed and set up to oppress them. Go ahead, Spikes.
I'm saying I think if Ethiopia continues on the same trajectory in terms of a development, it will become the hub. It will become the preferred place where people go to invest and put their businesses in because they will have electricity. They have focused on getting that dam constructed. It's called the Grand Renaissance Dam.
And ain't funny, Spikes? The Europeans have been trying to stop them. Ain't it funny? How would the Europeans be trying to stop Ethiopia becoming a power? Any African country becoming a power? Always.
Every opportunity that Ethiopia has taken has been faced by opposition. But I think Ethiopia should have been far ahead by now because Ethiopia is the largest second most populated country after Nigeria, and it also has a large.
But now I got strife now. Now the Europeans put. I got the Tigray region upset. They're fighting. The other regions fighting. Now remember. When Ethiopia was trying to get stuff together, the European told them there was no Djibouti, there was no Eritrea. These are new countries. That's Ethiopia. They stole Ethiopia's seaports from the Ethiopians.
And the Ethiopians didn't fight. That is the only mistake they made. The Ethiopians should have fought for their.
I agree with you, Spikes.
For that port.
You
they would not have
seaports, Spikes. You can't lose your seaports. Exactly right.
they should have actually gone into a war to make sure that they return their seaport, because once they do have a seaport and they have all these different infrastructure projects are working for them, then Ethiopia would become a preferred investment destination for anyone.
Exactly, Spikes.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. So the
But
European
now,
was always stopping that. So they put dissension within Ethiopia, put the Chaz in there, sleeping with these African women, call yourself Eritrean, and the other ones Djiboutians, all that old dumb shit. That was part of Ethiopia, well, Abyssinia back then. That's all Abyssinia, Ethiopia. But now you got Eritrea and Djibouti, the traders. The traders, that's what they are. Let's call them what they were, the traders of Ethiopia. Said about the Europeans. Go ahead, Mike.
I was just checking out the other day that in regards to Eritrea, I was talking about how tiny Eritrea is, and it seems like it's a small part of Italy. If you go there, you will find all these the foods that you can find in Italy. You will find you will find the same foods in
and that's
Eritrea.
what they wanted to do. So what they do, that weakened Ethiopia's power, and make sure they wouldn't become a dominant power, and it's controlled by the Europeans. Exactly right. It's a brutal dictatorship in Eritrea. It's a wicked, backward, fucked up country. It's a thiefdom. So wicked ass thiefdom. And that's what the Europeans do. Good, Mike.
This is a map right here, and you can also see Ethiopia and Eritrea. Ethiopia should have fought. Ethiopia should have fought to make sure that.
Mike. But the white man said we must sue for peace, Ethiopia. Oh, we talking about sue for peace. You're still in my country, yes, but we must sue for peace. Exactly right. They're supposed to spikes. That was the integrity of their landmass. You're exactly right. They were supposed to fight to keep that. That was their land.
Yeah, if they were able to have this access to the sea, they would be much better, because they would be able to also facilitate sea transport and make sure that their goods are moving in and out. They wouldn't have to pass through Djibouti.
I got to use it. And now they got to pay Djibouti for their land that they used to damn control and own. That's like me, like me going to your house again. Spikes, I'm going to take these 2 rooms. They're mine. You know, what are you talking about? This is my house. No, this is now Keith land. I'm going to name this part of your house Keith land. And it's going to be to the outside door. So you're going to have to pay me to go outside, because I got access to the front door. You don't. You got to pay me to go through your own front door. You don't. You got it? You're like, what? What are you talking about?
That is what has happened. That is what has happened with Africa, with Djibouti. Sorry, with Ethiopia right here. And but I was just saying that if Ethiopia gets to position itself really, really well, then it will be one of the leaders in terms of investment institution. I would see a place where we do find people now preferring to go to Ethiopia and invest in Ethiopia, but now they have to look into the security situation.
As long as the stable is not stable, they're gonna say no because it's not stable. That's what they do. The Europeans always cause these problems in Africa. It's not stable. I'm not gonna invest my money where I gotta worry about getting shot in the face, spikes, getting killed. Shit, it's unstable. Go ahead.
That's a problem. But nonetheless, talking about our business in Africa, I do believe that South Africa, Ethiopia, and also Nigeria is always with corruption. But South Africa and Ethiopia will be places to look. Will be placed to look in the future. I want to share a video by Dr. Annette, and she was talking about.
I said no. Nigeria's always corrupt. Go ahead.
I'm just saying it. Sorry, Nigeria is really a case where you're not sure whether you'll be getting your money back once you invest there. But I want to share a video by Dr. Annette. She was talking about how to make money, and she moved to Rwanda. She has been in Rwanda for a while now, and she has been marketing Rwanda as an investment destination.
She lives in Rwanda. As long as she don't say nothing against Kagame, she's okay.
If she dares says anything, they will be coming for her, and someone will be giving her a visit. But let me share this video of Dr. Annette talking about how to make $1,000 in Africa fast, and share some of the ideas that she had with this panel right here. Let me share.
We need to do these things. We need to get to Rwanda. We need to do these things. Let's listen.
All right. Okay. Sorry, we have 6 baby dogs, in case you don't know. And one of them is screaming rather loud. Who is joining their screen now? Let me see. Yasin, you're joining your screen. Please stop the screen share, otherwise I need to kick you out of the room. Okay.
Damn, shut your screen, scare, I'm gonna kick your ass out the room. Dr. Hammond ain't messing around with you, bastards.
I want to share 8 vital steps to make your first $100,000 in Africa. But even if you're in business already and you may have reached that milestone, I'm sharing some tips in regards to how you can really accelerate your success on the continent. I will first share the 8 steps with you, which will serve you as a foundation for your success. And then I share some great business ideas you can use to meet your goal. I will also then
I know she's doing business in Ghana and Kenya.
Yeah, she was in Kenya, sometimes in Nairobi, and she said the environment is also good. The problem is sometimes you find a lot of corruption, you know, in trying to get licenses, trying to get this and that. But she said the environment is also okay for her in Kenya, but she prefers Rwanda.
In regards to your own business or investment ambitions on the continent. So first of all, I want to remind everyone, and I actually want to quickly check, can you hear me well? Let me just quickly check with you. Can you hear me loud and clear? Is my microphone working loud and clear? Okay, fantastic. Going back. So I want to remind everyone that 75 to 80% of businesses are actually closing in the first 2 years in Nigeria, and about the same number in the first 3 years in Kenya. So when we are looking at business and entrepreneurship across the continent of Africa, yes, we will see.
She says they are failing more in Nigeria than they are failing in Kenya. In Nigeria, it's in 2 years. Then in Kenya, it's in 3 years.
Yeah, Nigeria. I would never put that in Nigeria. I'm sorry.
We see a big entrepreneurial kind of attitude. People want to start their businesses, but unfortunately, we also see a great failure and business loss. I think this is rather tragic, not just for the individual, but also for the development of the nations in Africa. Because imagine what could happen if, you know, at least half of those businesses that fail would actually succeed. What would happen in terms of job creation on the continent, what would happen in regards to contributing to the national economy in each of the countries. But because we see such a big business loss, we rather have to ask ourselves, why is that? And I believe that you know, big parts of that is because business leaders, especially young entrepreneurs and those who want to start a new business or investment in Africa, don't really know what they're doing. They have not learned how to run a business efficiently, or they're not aware how to do so in the context of Africa, to be among the winners. And this step one may seem like the opposite, but as someone who is an Africa business coach and a business coach, and I have, you know, communicated, engaged, and trained thousands by now, I can tell you again and again that most people, the majority of you, are not making an unapologetic decision to succid. And that looks a little bit like that. So on the left-hand side,
relationship.
Yeah, there has to be a relationship. You cannot just move from some place, you know, jump into Ethiopia, go into Addis Ababa, and go forming relations fast, because the relations will be the ones that are really serve as a bridge, you know, to get to the business.
Exactly right.
Business, yeah.
What the mind of the masses is looking like, the mind of most entrepreneurs. The mind of most entrepreneurs is usually always competing with a lot of distractions, be it Netflix or checking what's happening across the globe in the news, answering the phone, being on SMS and phone and WhatsApp and social media and email, really also double tasking and feeling the overwhelm of managing a business and maybe your family and any company operating in Botswana. On the right-hand side, we have a real estate or infrastructure project in Angola. When you couple a low-risk business model,
I think when it comes to a low-risk country, we might have Tanzania, maybe perhaps, and he also talks about, I think, Botswana, but I don't see myself also, if I was also an investor, I will not see myself going into Botswana unless you have an industry.
Well, no, Spikes, it might be further. I think Botswana doesn't have a lot of corruption.
Yeah, in terms of corruption, Botswana is not as corrupt. I agree with you on that point. In terms of corruption, Botswana is less corrupt, but let me play.
In a low-risk industry, in a low-risk African country, you will succeed much faster as compared to coupling a high-risk business model in a high-risk industry in a high-risk country in Africa. And of course, right now, I don't have the time to run you through all of them, but I want to give you some examples. Low risk, for example, would be to couple an agricultural business model with Rwanda, or tourism with Ghana, or trade with South Africa. Or you start an investment consultancy where you share your knowledge and expertise in Tanzania. As compared to...
I think I agree. Yeah, these countries are low risk. Rwanda, Ghana, South Africa, and Tanzania. I think she has them right. She has not included Nigeria on the list because,
everybody knows Nigeria is corrupt as shit. You couldn't put an ice cream truck up in Nigeria. Shit. No.
Engaging into an infrastructure project in the DRC, or a mining venture in Nigeria, or a manufacturing venture in Ethiopia, or finance venture in Zimbabwe. So this is really important for those of us, especially in the diaspora or Friends of Africa. And I will come to those of you who are already on the continent, based there, and you may be based in a higher risk country. But this is really important for us to understand, because when you are in a higher risk country, and a higher risk country is at risk of corruption, higher risk of corruption, higher risk of inflation, higher risk of access to dollars, or the lack of dollars in a country, and therefore
unstable.
Able to purchase important ingredients, for example, or important products that you may need.
That's why I said Tanzania, right there. And certain things in Kenya, certain things not in Kenya, because Kenya's corrupt too, but certain things in both countries can be profitable. I want to end up in Rwanda too. I want to do business in Tanzania, Rwanda, and Kenya. I don't want to fuck around in Uganda at all. At all.
You might consider importing. You might consider getting into the business of avocados in Uganda. Maria would be the plug. Maria,
I don't want to get in no business at all in Uganda. I'm not Akon. I'm not a fool. Fuck that. No.
Maria would know of a place to source avocados and also take them to the
good for her. The answer is no.
You will be at higher risk of conflict and a higher risk of generally business failure, because you're caught up in the bureaucracy and the corruption of the system. And that then causes a lot of delays. It causes substantial delays in getting you where you want to be.
Exactly. Efficiency is a problem. Exactly.
Lower risk.
And also, Dr. Hammond, you got to know the culture. A lot of African countries, sad enough, we're laid back. We don't pay attention to time in Africa. Like, what you say, hey, get here at 12 o'clock. Motherfuckers show up at 3 o'clock. Like, I said 12 o'clock. What are you doing? Yeah, I'm here. I said 12 o'clock, not 3 p.m. Go ahead, Spike.
The problem is there's a concept where people talk about African time. African time, the people want to be late and say that's African time. That is a problem with our people. Saying this is African time. You're an African time.
Is true, Spike. That's so true.
You're an African time. How are you an African time and you ought to be at your She goes on.
Step number 3 then, dear Africa Business Jumpstarters, is to find the perfect product market match. This is crucial. And again, I don't think enough entrepreneurs or business owners in Africa understand the concept. It is not enough to just produce mushrooms. It's not enough to just be, in tech and wanting to come up with a great payment platform. At this point in time, in particular, where we see the world is shifting in regards to how it does business, it becomes ever more so important that you understand the perfect product market match. That means, what product are you producing, and which problem are you solving with that product, and exactly for who? And the other question you need to ask yourself, how do I stand out, and how do I increase relevance? The key word is relevance. So very, very often when I engage with businesses in Africa, be it online or on the ground, and as you know, I've extensively traveled through Africa. I'm now based in Kigali. But what I very often see that when when you ask people what they do and what business they are, they say, oh, I own a hotel, or I rent out, bedrooms to travelers, or I'm a tour operator, or I am producing chili for the export market. And guess what? Everyone is doing that. And what I mean with everyone is doing that is it is very, very general. And just one moment, please.
I put that dog on the leash, Dr. Hammond. The dog making noise.
Yeah, I think she has a couple of puppies in the house, 3 of them. That is what she said at the intro, something like that.
Sorry, I was just asking my son to. We have like a crybaby. We have 6 dogs, 8 dogs.
Damn, 6 dogs.
Crybaby. All right. So let me continue. So it is. Well, I help businesses to go on social media and to market their products or to market their business there. Or you are running a solar power company, and I say, what do you do? Oh, we provide solar power solutions for households or kind of anyone who wants them. What do you do in Africa? Well, we are providing tours or safari tours in Kenya or in South Africa. That is the approach the majority of business owners take. And as I have just pointed out, what you have really done by positioning yourself in that way, in that general way, is you have
limitations,
taken down the relevance that you have for the marketplace. Because that is a very general positioning, and you have not been able to demonstrate for the first time, or you're branching out into Africa for the very first time. Your main goal is to succeed, not to help the world. Once you succeed, you can then continue to help the poor, either because you now branch out with a product to reach poorer communities.
You can't help the poor if you're poor.
You are
so you need to first
or going into community services. But in the beginning, dear Africa Business Jumps.
But now then again, sell higher end products to high end consumers. That's also a bit of a problem, because the poverty in Africa might also make this a particular step a bit of a challenge.
Difficult. Exactly. I think it'd be hard to sell high end products. I agree with you, Spike. I agree.
Because he says it's much easier. You don't need to sell a lot of them. You need to sell a few of them and make your high profit margins. But let me continue.
Status. You have to understand this. When you serve the poor, you are dealing with low profit margins. And that means that you have to really roll out big quantities of products or services, big quantities in order to make it. When you are a small business or a startup or a branch starting in Africa, it is impossible to reach high volumes as a startup and to really meet your goal. Leave this one for the time being to people who are already in business and they know what they're doing. Leave this to larger companies or those with enough money so they can roll out big quantities. Instead, for the majority of us, I highly recommend that you are choosing products and services and target clients where you have high profit margins. That will allow you to sell less and to reach your goal much faster. Again, once you are successful in business, you then can continue to make your impact on poorer communities if you wish to do so. And I know this is important to most of us. We want to make a positive impact also on the poorer communities. But important is in the beginning that you succeed. Because if you fail, no one wins. Neither you, nor the poor communities, nor Africa. And remember, 80% of businesses in Africa fail in the first 2 to 3 years. You don't want to be among them. And that then means that, when you think about the product or service you offer, because the high end can also apply to a service, you want to go for the raw ivory shear with a black, beautiful lid, instead of the plastic box that we see here, where we just have shea butter in it. Well, guess what? There's probably going to be the same shea butter in these 2 pots. Or there may be a very slight, better quality in one of them. But what is selling in the global market is really, first of all, your packaging if you're selling products. And when I mean packaging, it's your brand. And
your design.
$20 per hour in Africa, and that would be a lot, but let's just do the calculation. And then you are serving maybe, I don't know, 8 students per day. You can make up to $300 a day. And now you're trading, of course, the time. But that is what you can do per day. Now, with a training package, you could sell a package like that at $2,000 a day. And a training package, first of all, you need the right clients, again, businesses, for example. And businesses that are struggling is even better. So when I mean businesses that are struggling are big business, and they are not exactly really understanding how that translates in terms of their financial goals or how many units they have to sell. So a lot of people who say, I want to make 100,000 per year, or I want to make 1 million per year. And if you then ask them, okay, how much do you have to sell per day? They would not know because they have not broken down that. So if you have a goal of 100,000 per year, it means you want to make 8,333 per month. And that really results in $280 a day. And now it becomes much more concrete. Okay, so you're aiming for $280 a day. And for those of you in agriculture, okay, you may not sell it daily because you're growing. You can also focus on the monthly target, no problem at all. Now you have to ask yourself, how many units do I have to sell each day or each month to make the 100,000? So that means, how many products do I have to sell per day to reach the 8,300 per per month to reach the 100,000 per year. You actually have to break it down. And that, when I learned this, and I'm glad I learned this quite early in my business, I got rather late in my business journey. When I got this gem through one of my coaches that I heavily invested in, it changed my business immediately around. And immediately, I meant like within 2 months. So I was going down a path, working very, very hard, and always thinking, I'm making good money, but I'm not quite where I want to be. I had very ambitious goals. And it was this missing gem. How do I get to my targets, my money targets, faster? It may be 100,000 for you. It may be 500,000. It may be your first 10,000. Whatever it is, you will get there by. We've seen big businesses coming into Africa, big business owners who have made millions already elsewhere, including foreigners. They've made millions in India or Lebanon or so on. And then they came into Africa thinking they can just, make a big capital injection, open a supermarket or some kind of supermarket chain or some kind of other business. And guess what? 1 year later or 2 years later, they're packing and going home. The reason being is, or they're sitting there, let me add, the average business owner in Africa would not take. Why? Number one, they feel out of their comfort zone. And number two, it feels so head on that they rather retreat to what they know. And what they know is usually average. That's just normal human behavior. And so massive action then, for example, could be that, let's say you're kind of, making sales per day. Maybe you get a referral or you're reaching to someone out. Maybe you're in the import-export business or any kind of business. And now you are deciding that you will reach out to 50 potential buyers a week.
I think for her, that particular point, she's just talking about taking action that all being tactical and also taking action that other businesses have not taken. She has some important points. I agree with most of them. The only one that had a problem is stating high end, but it's also good. You might consider getting into a particular market which is really high end and get a high profit.
Well, I think you have relationships to getting high end and find out what are the high end products that are selling in each individual country. So so you have to do a business analysis. What high end business and what what high end area. So I agree with you, Spike.
Yeah, and also I see a General Mosquito saying a Jambo to you too. Thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. I hope that you have gotten a few tips. I don't know if General Mosquito has some few businesses in Ghana, but Ghana is also a place that has been seen as relatively good, relatively good for investment, stable for investment compared to the neighboring countries such as Mali, Burkina Faso.
Mali, no. Burkina Faso, no.
Those are the countries. Ivory Coast, there, Togo.
Ivory Coast, no.
Yeah, so you can see those countries are right there that neighbors are Ghana. Ghana is stable. Let me just say Ghana is also a place where people can decide to do business there compared. We have 54 countries on the continent, and if you look at the potential for investment in those countries, you might just find maybe less than 10. It's even 10 is too much. You'll find about less than 10.
And that's on purpose.
Which is unfortunate.
And that's on purpose because they're full of delicious minerals that the white man wants. So it keeps it unstable.
Yeah, if you look at the options on the table for anyone looking into Africa to sort of get into trade, it's a little bit difficult. But nonetheless, family, I want to talk about trade between US and the USA and Africa. In 2000, there was a pact that was signed in 2000, and this particular pact was signed by the governments. It was passed by Congress, I believe. It is known as the African Growth and Opportunity Act. And these were supposed to help boost a trade between Africa and the USA. But I do believe most of the time it's to the benefit of the USA. But this particular one was signed in 2000. And it's supposed to expire in 2025. Yeah, it's supposed to expire in 2025. So since its enactment in 2000, the African Growth and Opportunity Act has been at the core of the U.S. economy policy and commercial engagement with Africa. And Agoa, according to the website here by the U.S. government, it says that Agoa provides eligible sub-Saharan African countries with duty-free access to the U.S. market for over 1,800 products. And in addition to more than 5,000 products that are eligible for duty-free access under the generalized system of preferences program. And to meet Agoa's rigorous eligibility requirements, countries must establish or make continued progress towards establishing a market-based economy, the rule of law, political pluralism, and the right to due process. Additionally, the countries must eliminate barriers to U.S. trade and investment, enact policies to reduce poverty, combat corruption, and protect human rights. This is a little bit of what was going on, and there are 38 countries that were eligible for the Agoa benefits in 2015. The Congress passed legislation modernizing and extending the program to 2025. So it might also be extended again, but the question is if it's going to be if it's going to be restructured or if it's going to be redrafted. So right now they are saying that there has been a question whether it's going to be extended after that. So many observers advocate new policies to increase the U.S. Africa trade and investment, especially with Agoa expiring in 2025. Yet the policy path is less clear when Agoa became law, and the prospects for substantial African trade initiative gaining political support are more challenging. And this was passed by Congress in 2000, and the rationale was to, of course, increase trade between Africa and the USA. There are many barriers, I do believe, between Africa and the USA, conducting its trade. Most of the time, when it comes to the balance, what do you call these balance of trade, you will find Africa having an unfavorable balance of trade. You look at the volume of trade between Africa and the USA, you find that most of the goods coming into Africa, and Africa is not really exporting as much. Africa is not getting that opportunity to export as much product to the USA because of some of the barriers that have been put in place in regards to duties, and even in some cases there is a quota of what products can be exported and the volume of products that can be exported to the USA. But I do believe people can still look into the opportunities, in countries that have these Agoa, the Agoa Pact. The 38 countries that are under the Agoa Pact. Those are countries I believe that also have a potential for investment. Kenya is part of it. Kenya is part of the Agoa, the African Growth and Opportunity Pact. We do have also countries such as South Africa. It's also part of the Agoa. And we also do, I believe, also Rwanda. Yes, I also believe Rwanda is also part of the Agoa Pact. And it was meant to support our countries, also enabling them remove the barriers that have been that do exist when it comes to trading with the USA. And I do believe if you were to go into those particular countries, you would stand a better chance of maybe having a business between, if you are in the USA and wants perhaps to import products into Africa, or you're in Africa and perhaps want to send out our products in the USA, then you would have a better opportunity. Let me actually get those particular countries, the member countries for you, the member countries of Agoa. And because some countries are unstable, then it would be very, very difficult. We do have countries that are not eligible. Djibouti is not eligible. We do have the DRC Congo not being eligible as well. But we do have a country such as Ethiopia. Let me get this: Ethiopia, Kenya, Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast. And let me also get a full list here to see how many countries are under these particular part of the Agoa between the USA and Africa. Can I get the list here? We do have Ethiopia. We do have Nigeria. We do have Kenya. We do have Uganda. We do have Tanzania and Burundi and Rwanda. All these countries are part of the Agoa Pact. And like I said, let me share these up with us. Like I said, this particular pact enables much, enables trade between Africa and the USA happen without most of the barriers that are imposed with other countries. Sudan is not member. Egypt is not a member. Libya is not a member. Algeria is not a member. The countries that are with the blue, shaded blue, these are the members of the Agoa Pact. Cape Verde is also, I believe, a part of the pact. Gambia is also part of the pact. Guinea-Bissau is part of the pact. I think almost all these countries in West Africa, Burkina Faso is member, Togo and Benin are members. We also do have Rwanda. I had mentioned Rwanda a bit earlier, South Africa as well, Swaziland, Lesotho. Zimbabwe is not. Zimbabwe is not. It was not considered eligible. The white ones are not eligible for Agoa beneficiary status. Madagascar and Mauritius, as well as part of this pact, which is known as the African Growth and Opportunity Act. So if you're looking into countries that perhaps you would be interested in getting to import or export from, you might also like to consider whether they are part of the African Growth and Opportunity Act, an act that was passed in 2000 by Congress, and it's almost expiring in 2025. It might be renewed. I am not sure whether it's going to be renewed, but it might be renewed, and we might see also people being able to move products from the USA into Africa and Africa into the USA. There are many benefits, I understand, but some of them include providing the duty-free access to the US market for 1,800 products. I think 1,800 products is too low. I believe, or maybe they would have more than 2,000 products are being allowed duty-free access to the US market. But I wanted just to highlight that there is a bit of uncertainty when it comes to whether this particular deal will be restructured.
Yeah, it's lopsided. The deal is always lopsided because Africa doesn't have any manufacturing, so the deals always benefit
the U.S.
other countries. The U.S. is a bigger power. That's why Africa should supposed to been unite and work as one block, work as one complete country instead of all these goofy countries. It doesn't benefit Africa. It hurts Africa to have 54 nations and all of those. The Arabs can do what they want to do. They were not part of African anyway. They were the Arabs anyway. But underneath the Sahara, the African nations should have united, picked one part of Africa and said, we're going to open up, all these borders will be gone. This one area of Africa is going to be where we do all our manufacturing. This other part of Africa is where we're going to do our research and development. Whichever works best, Africa would be a powerhouse. It would be the most dominant place on the planet, hands down. It wouldn't be a question. That's why Africa's always kept divided, always kept with all these damn terrorist incursions. Because if Africa ever unites, it goes back to being a global power. Everything's in Africa, doesn't need anybody. So you start teaching your children correct. You start having research and development because you now put a value on the goods that's in the ground because you have an unlimited amount of resources in Africa. The best land. You mean you have a certain place like Cameroon and other places where that's going to be the breadbasket of Africa and the world because you got the best land right there. Africa was just dominating every sector. Every sector. Go ahead, Spike.
I always say that Cameroon being one of the wettest places in the world, Cameroon and the DRC, those two countries can feed the rest of Africa. We can even have just two countries. Two countries are feeding all of Africa.
That's what I said. That's what I said. You would have the hugest DRC. Those places can feed the world, not just Africa. So you would have dominance in agriculture, because that'd be your agriculture sector right there. You'd have and then you have freedom of movement. So anywhere you want to live in Africa, you can move. You wouldn't be Kenyan, you'd be an African citizen. Wouldn't be no Kenyan and all. You can decide to live wherever you decide to go work at. You have a manufacturing area that does manufacturing, agriculture, research, development. You just would dominate. You would dominate.
And there is what we also call the Africa Continental Free Trade Area that would allow to bring down the barriers that are the barriers that exist when African countries are trading. And I do believe these would also be the way to go. It's called the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, where we would have these market. the barriers are being removed. I think some of the tariffs involved in moving products are moving.
I think that's good. The only problem you got to protect the African. You can't have a developed market come in like the Europeans and set up shop in the free trade area and dominate African people. The African has to have terrorists there for other people, not African people, other people, because they will come in and dominate and destroy your market and enslave you again. You must protect your market. You must have enough common sense to protect your people and your markets. I mean, Africa has everything just to dominate. They just get the puppets out and unite. All Africa has to do unite. It just has. That's why Africa was never poor. Everybody wanted to war on Africa. Africa was never. Africa just has everything. Has everything. My God.
So these would actually be a very, very big move for Africa, having if it was to affect these Africa Continental Free Trade Area. It's an ambitious trade pact to form the world's largest free trade area by connecting almost 1.3 billion people across 54 African countries. The agreement is to create a single market for goods and services in order to deepen the economic integration of Africa. The trade area would have a combined gross domestic products of about $3.4 trillion, but achieving its full potential depends on the significant policy reforms and trade facilitation measures across the African signatory nations. Tanzania did ratify it, and it has also joined. And the agreement was brokered by the African Union and was signed by 44 of its 55 member states in Kigali, Rwanda, on March 21st, 2018. Trading at the agreement commenced on January 1st, 2021, after a 6-month delay as a result of the impact of the COVID-19. But yes, it has rolled out, and I hope that Africans get to embrace it and also get to actualize it, because it would be very, very much.
People should no one be poor in Africa. African people, your mindset. Should no one be poor in Africa? African people. Should no one be poor in Africa? You sit on the richest piece of everything. You have poor mindset. Go ahead.
I'm saying, but the problem comes in between the barriers that have been put by African governments themselves. If you look at that wasn't by the African government.
That wasn't by the African government. That by the European. Said you're gonna put these borders up because we don't want you to unite. That was the whole reason. It wasn't the African. It was the African puppets who put that in because the master said we can't have Africa unite.
You will find that the statistics are also startling, because if you compare the level of intra-Africa exports, exports between amongst African countries, the exports were just 16% compared to Europe. In Europe, the countries stayed amongst themselves, and their intra-Europe exports are about 68%. If you compare 16%,
because the African wasn't going and bombing Europe and trying to overthrow it like they do Africa. That's why, and they know trading between themselves is going to work out for them. Exactly. They don't got the African coming and trying to blow them up and trade with one another like the African does, with the European.
The African is always in chaos and getting bombed right, left, and center, like in Somalia. You saw that market in Somalia where you give your money and no one gets to touch that money. I shared a video sometimes back.
You're carrying $1,000 worth 10 cents. Nobody gonna take that money.
It would be too heavy to carry. Yeah, it would be too heavy to carry.
That shit's worth 5 Kenyan shillings. You got a wheelbarrow full of paper worth 5 Kenyan shillings.
That's fiat paper. That's a fiat paper for you. That's fiat paper for you at the end of the day. Nonetheless, family, we almost winding up, and I think let me just share the link over that Dr. Hannet's video in case anyone would like to check the full of it and also see a bit some of the tips there. I agree with some of what she says there. And
I think we must be ready to invest in and what business. I'm thinking about the t-shirt, but like I said, to Africans, even though we are,
you are kind of
even though
even
though we are intervention some small businesses in Kenya do now with this pandemic. I think Africans always want to get on the mic and rap and do rapping shit. So I don't care how bad you rap. Come on in, and as long as you pay money, for the studio time, I don't care what you do.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying we'll be at a good position when we have the talents that the same talents will come around and record at the studio. So it's all good.
That'll work. That will work. Now, as far as the t-shirts, do people have money to buy t-shirts? That's the question.
The problem is,
can we make it cheap enough for people to buy them?
Unless the t-shirts are bought in bulk, that's when they are cheap. But if you buy 1 t-shirt, 2 t-shirts, 3 t-shirts, buy in small quantities, that's a problem. But then also buying a bulk, it would also be problematic because you don't know how the orders are coming. But we will work on it. We will work on it because we need to have businesses set up in Africa. And I have shared the link. Of that video in case you want to check out some of the tips by Dr. Harnett on how to set up businesses in Africa or how to just operate businesses in Africa. It would be wonderful because at the end of the day, it's very important. She says you do not have to just focus on helping other communities. You have to set up a business that works fast. Then look into how you can help the communities in Africa. And
but I'm saying us, Spikes, we'll buy our shirts in bulk. But can we sell them for a profit? That's what I'm saying. We'll buy the shirts. Yes, okay. If we buy shirts in bulk, we buy white shirts, black shirts in bulk. Of course, we're going to buy them in bulk. Will we get a decent enough deal to sell them and make a profit?
Yes, we will. It's possible. The thing that needs to be done is marketing, proper marketing, and also getting the target. Targeting the people you want to get to. You might target organizations, or you might also just target individuals. But organizations work better if you want to get organizations that you can print for or sell to. Will be wonderful because they buy that in a group.
We'll see what we can do. But it's a small business, so we'll see what we can do. We'll have that all set up before we go to Tanzania. So we'll see when we come back. How's it work? What do we do with it? So it'll all be there. So we'll start at least October. We'll start brainstorming next week about this talent search, so that'll make me put fire under my ass to get the card and the speakers, because of that we'll need that with the talent show. So I want to have at least the talent show have it all up and running by the 3rd week of October. So we'll have it all up and running by the 3rd week of October. We'll have a month of show, at least a month in the bag before we head over to Tanzania. And people be all, when you guys coming back? What's going on? Is the talent show still going? So people still be all hyped when you guys get back to Kenya in January. So I think it'll be a good look.
It will be wonderful, and I'm up for that. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. Zero Mosquito, much peace and love to you in the UK, and also anyone that has seen a big team.
Meet me in the test stream, Spikes, so we can talk about. Meet me in the test stream when you get done, when you get off.
Okay. I was just saying peace to Sister Lightbearer. I do see you saying a hi, Keith, and chat family. Hi to you too.
Because I think a talent show will be good, and we'll only do it on the network. We'll only do it on the network, so we can have music. I get no copyright strikes. So we do the talent show. We only do it on the network. It'll be you, Joby, and Kate will be the damn judges. You guys don't kill each other.
We'll just be educating, and we will set it up, and it will be wonderful. Sister Libera, thank you so much. I haven't seen Sister Libera do a live in the recently. Sister Libera, are you still doing?
I'm surprised she found this other channel. We got the other one checking down yesterday. We got channel after channel after channel. They got to keep finding. It's funny.
It's crazy, and she has found us on Kid News Summer 3. But I was saying I haven't seen her videos in a second. I'm not sure whether she is still maybe she's still working on them.
Yeah, I'm sure she does the shows. Yeah, but meet me in the test. I want to talk to you and Joby about how we set this up, how we go about making it a success. I think that's a damn good idea. Talent show. That's gonna be awesome.
It would be wonderful. You saying I did yesterday one live? Okay, I'll check it out. Thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. I hope that everything is well. Make sure you join us on the other shows right here on the Blackwood Financial. Till then, much peace and love. I want to say Kwaheri.
Kwaheri.